by 2%.
Axiom Strategies Republican strategist and former Trump 2020 director of press communications, Erin Maguire, joins me now. Okay, so let me break down what he said. Social workers in the seedy subways taxing the corporations that haven't yet moved to Florida or Texas, even more money. What will that do to America's largest city, Erin?
That would crush New York City, but that's what Zoran Mamdani wants. He wants people to become more dependent on government. He doesn't believe in individualism. He does not believe in freedom. In fact, he's sitting there at Columbia sounding more like a professor than he does like a mayoral candidate. And that word salad answer about how he's going to be addressing crime in the city with social workers would make Kamala Harris blush. This is not a person who is actually serious about solving crime. He's serious about social progressive policies that undermine individual liberty and safety.
Some political experts are saying that the shine is starting to wear off Mamdani now that he has to explain the how he would implement his policies. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. He is going through what most candidates go through in their careers. You get the entry phase, you get the climb, and then you get the scrutiny phase. And boy, was Zoran Mamdani not prepared for that. Because when you actually have to explain that, one, he wants to try to raise the state tax rate, well, he's an assembly member. He could have done that already. He can't do that as New York City mayor. So he seems to not quite understand what his role would be. And he wants to force businesses out of the state by taxing them more. That will be his answer for almost everything because he doesn't actually have a full policy developed. He will say, we'll just tax the rich. It's an easy talking point. But taxing the rich, when you actually consider what that looks like, they say top earners in this country. A lot of small businesses act as earners, act as their businesses. They work through them as personal individuals. So taxing those people will devastate small businesses here in New York.
Okay, so he may have a harder road ahead of him than we originally thought a few weeks ago, but there is a reason ultimately that he reached the pinnacle that he's reached, the Democrat candidate for mayor. And I think this next story has something to do with it, because when you think our country, you think the United States of America, you think capitalism. But it turns out not everybody's on board with capitalism. Guys, if we could scroll the prompter ahead a little bit, that would be great. We have a situation where America's positive ratings of capitalism, look at that, in just a few years have dipped from 60% down to 54%. Are you worried that with numbers like that, let's go beyond the New York City mayoral race, with numbers like that, that socialism could actually take hold and become a bigger force in our country than it already is?
I think we've underestimated how much a force socialism has become in our country. If you go back to 2016, avowed socialist Bernie Sanders was pretty close to getting the Democrat presidential nomination if it wasn't for that pesky Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama stopping the superdelegates. So this is actually who the Democrat Party is. If you look further into that poll, what, a third, two-thirds of Democrats support socialism in this country? That is the base of their party. They believe that government knows best. And you and I, Todd, can both agree, and I think the Fox viewers as well, government has not been the solution to this. Capitalism has. Individualism has. The opportunity to succeed and bring businesses back to the United States is what makes us the greatest country. That's what Donald Trump is pursuing. What a contrast that we see. Democrats want more government, less freedom, less money in your pocket for you to decide how to spend it as an American. Donald Trump wants American jobs back here in the United States, lower tax rates, more competitiveness, and global dominance. That's what's at stake, not only in this election, but the midterm.
It's huge. And look, we could blame the fact that, socialism, people hear it and say like, oh, that's great, I'll get free stuff. But I think it goes deeper than that as to why we're seeing this. It goes to the education system. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. You have seen an indoctrination of a leftist Marxist ideology, especially at the collegiate levels. But even if you look in Virginia at Loudoun County schools, right now you are continuing to see the fight about trans issues in schools because these people, these teachers and teacher unions are out there forcing left-wing propaganda on our students. And now the outcome is they believe less in this country. That is not the America I know. September 11th is this week. We are in New York City. I grew up in the 9/11 generation. I've always been proud to be an American. Socialism is antithetical to that.
Erin Maguire, thanks as always for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Todd.
ICE launching a new operation to target criminal illegal migrants in Illinois, and it's all to honor